Why was this news so negative for GE yesterday? We knew that things were going to be bad.
We definitely knew things were going to be bad. I think part of it just comes down to expectations. The stock, of course, has run with the market largely on hype and hope. And now we actually see why Larry Culp and the company did not want to give guidance on their fourth quarter earnings call, because they knew full well there was very bad news to be had. So I think it's a combination of people not paying attention, momentum in the market, and the company not basically setting things up as negatively as they should prior to yesterday. But now, now this is just, we think, the beginning of very negative news still to come.
So John, do we think, and we don't know, do we think that Larry Culp didn't want to give the guidance, or he just didn't really have his arms around it, so he didn't know what guidance to give? Those are two very different things.
Yeah, they are. The company, so Larry yesterday on the call with at JP Morgan made comment that they still had 9 days or something like that still to tweak or fine-tune the guidance before they give it on the outlook call on March 14th. Of next week. So that almost implies the company probably didn't have all of its ducks completely in a row. I think it definitely knew directionally where this was going to be, but it may not have been that specific. Look, I think Larry Culp ultimately doesn't want to give a guide that the company can't hit.
Yeah.
The problem is you've got very negative cash and you've got declining EPS and adjusted EPS, all the while GE is still under investigation for accounting. So, he's walking kind of a fine line here.
So, John, quickly, they also said that headwinds to the cash flow is going to meaningfully lessen in 2020, 2021. When would you want to buy the stock?
Well, you typically buy stocks at the bottom. The problem is their power business and GE Capital both are very long-term workouts, black box sources, or uses of cash flow for a very long time. So the challenge is between now and the next 3 years, which is sort of the implied look forward, right, which most companies don't get a 3-year pass. The economy could go into a recession, and there really is no room for error at GE. So, look, I think that GE probably is going to bounce around here. We need to hear what they say next Thursday. But for sure, I mean, the cat's out of the bag. And, this all dovetails back to everybody thinking everything's great with respect to liquidity. Well, the company is selling its biopharma business to Danaher at a very sweetheart deal for Danaher. I mean, this still also, I think, raises questions. Are we actually out of the liquidity and debt woods yet? And, that remains to be seen.